Avery, whose show is this? And we're live. Welcome, everybody, here to the Lakers Lounge Podcast. I'm Anthony Irwin, Senior Lakers Insider for Clutch Points. And today on the show, we're going to be talking about a really, I'm not kidding, one of my favorite wins of the year. I know I've said that about a few wins. There are 82 games in the season. There are a lot of favorite wins. But this one ranks really, really high up there for a few reasons. So I'll give those reasons why I enjoyed this game so much. We'll talk about this outcome's impact on the standings. We'll enjoy one of my favorite plays, or my favorite play from this game. We'll celebrate Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith and their impact on this game. We'll celebrate Luka and LeBron and Austin and their approach to this game. Just a really, really fun win tonight for the Lakers over the Houston Rockets at home. They beat them 104-98. They improved to 46-29 on the season. Houston falls to 49-27 on the season. The Lakers are now 29-9 at home on the year. And given some of the other games that they have in front of them, this was an absolute monster win that they definitely needed to pick up. So we'll talk about all of that. We'll answer some of your guys' questions and yeah, just kind of enjoy this one. This was a fun win. By the way, the Dodgers also won. So an especially good night in LA. But yeah, the final again, 104-98. Quick reminder, please do hit that subscribe button, hit that like button if you guys are tuned in here live on YouTube. If you guys are watching on Twitter, head on over to youtube.com/@LakersLounge to check out the show there. If you guys are listening in podcast form, hit that subscribe button wherever it is that you get your podcasts, specifically on Odyssey, because I'm a company man. Yeah, let's go ahead and dive on into, again, the Lakers beating the Houston Rockets 104-98 and picking up I wouldn't call it a must win, but certainly a very, very, very critical win to the Lakers' playoff seeding hopes. So it was very clear in this one, even before Ime Udoka spoke about it in his mid-game interview or whatever, but the Houston Rockets were basically going to completely sell out to force the other guys on this team to beat them tonight. And they have the horses to be able to do that. You have Dylan Brooks, you have Amen Thompson, you have Jalen Green. No, sorry, you didn't have Jalen Green down the stretch of the game. He got benched. You have Jabari Smith, you have Tari Eason. Like, you have a whole bunch of extremely athletic, extremely switchy forwards, and they are very good at essentially taking away the thing that they want to take away. And tonight, they basically completely focused all of their efforts on making life miserable on LeBron, on Luka, and on Austin. That was it. That they basically said everybody else is going to have to beat them. Even while those guys were beating them, they were like, I don't care. Doesn't matter. We are not going to lose to Luka, LeBron, and Austin. And the end result was a loss for Houston. The Lakers basically knocked down enough outside shots, knocked down enough three-pointers. They shot 46 three-pointers on the night, the Lakers did, but they knocked down enough of them to be able to carry out this win. And I thought it was really interesting to watch Houston, even while Gabe and Doe were shooting absolutely light out. It didn't matter to Houston. They were like, I don't care. Ime Udoka sitting like, I don't care. Like, go for it. Whatever The threes that you have to knock down, those guys are going to have to knock down those threes, and we are not going to come off of our game plan. And I think sometimes that's where non I don't want to call people casuals, but I'm just like sports fans in general get a little impatient, and when a team is not shooting very well, they want the game plan to change, or when the game plan is forcing other guys to shoot and those guys are shooting the ball well, fans want that game plan to change really quickly. In this one, I would love to, check in on Rocket's Twitter or Rocket social media, um, and see what the reaction was to, hey, maybe we should stop leaving those guys open. Those guys are killing us. Uh, but at the end of the day, as a Laker fan, all that matters is that the Lakers pick up this win. And from a very macro standpoint, the Lakers now they have a bit of a gap. I'll show the standings here on the screen. The Lakers now have a bit of a gap. Obviously, OKC has the biggest gap, sitting 14 and a half games between them and the Houston Rockets. Let me see. Are these updated? Just make sure. Yes, they are updated. So yeah, you have Houston sitting in the second seed. They are now at 49 and 27. You have Denver splitting the Rockets and Lakers. They sit at 47 and 28. One thing to keep in mind there, the Lakers have a tiebreaker so long as they stay ahead of Golden State, which, they sit 2 games, 2.5 games ahead of Golden State right now. But 2 games in the loss column over Golden State. But the Lakers actually have a bit of a tiebreaker again with the Denver Nuggets. They split their meetings over the course of the season, but because the Lakers are going to do better in their division, the Nuggets actually, if the Lakers and Nuggets tie in wins and losses at the end of the year, the Lakers would actually sit the seat ahead of Denver. So that's something to keep in mind there. So the outcome of this one is it for one thing, it slows Houston's momentum. They had been playing really good basketball coming into this game. Yeah, there were some wins against some not so great teams, including Phoenix. But at the end of the day, the Lakers, remind the Rockets that they are capable of losing. And for a young team, momentum matters a lot. And then for the Lakers, also importantly, maybe more importantly here, they give themselves that nice little gap between them and Memphis, who, by the way, they own a tiebreaker over as well. The Lakers now sit two games ahead of Memphis at 29 losses. Memphis sits at 31 losses. I believe the Lakers also have a tiebreaker over Golden State too. That's also worth noting. So the Lakers, they sit decently well here. I think they have a really good chance at the 3 seed. They have an outside chance at the 2 seed. I think they have a extremely good chance at the 4 seed, so long as the wheels don't fall off in the last final 7 games of the season. And very, very importantly, they have a really good chance at wrapping up their division this year, which again is going to matter for that tiebreaker with the Denver Nuggets. So this game was a really important one here for the standings, and the Lakers pick up a monster win here against a very good Houston Rockets team. Yes, they're young. Yes, they're a team I would prefer to play in the playoffs because they're young, but they are extremely talented. And this is a game that they really wanted to win. Both teams were going timeout for timeout down the stretch. The Houston Rockets played only 8 guys in this game and wound up benching Jalen Green down the stretch of this one. Reggie Miller was beside himself, wondering what was going on there. So it was a game that the Rockets really, really wanted to win. It was a game that the Lakers needed to execute in order to win. And fortunately, there for the Lakers here and for us here watching, the Lakers picked up that key dub. I cannot say enough about what the Lakers got from Gabe Vincent and Dorian Finney-Smith. Let's just look at their numbers first, even though I don't think that somehow still doesn't tell the whole story. But you had Dorian Finney-Smith played 32 minutes. He went 6 of 13 from the field, 6 of 11 from three-point range, grabbed 6 boards, dished out 3 assists, had 2 steals, had 3 blocks on the game, was a game high plus 16, almost double the next closest person to him, which was LeBron. Doe finished with, or Dodo, it depends on who you talk to. I've had some people say I'm very good belief that it is Dodo. I've had other people say that it is Doe. I'm just going to call him Dodo because it's fun to say. But he scored 20 points here tonight. And again, was a game high plus 16. Gabe Vincent in this game went 6 of 14 from the field, 6 of 13 from three-point range. You can kind of get the vibe of what kind of shots those guys were getting in this one. Both guys were perfect from the line. They combined to go 4 of 4 from that area on the court or in those opportunities. Gabe grabbed 4 rebounds. Dished out 1 assist, had a steal, had a block, had a huge block actually late in the game. He was a +8. He also had 20 points. So you had Dorian Finney-Smith and Gabe Vincent combined for 40 points, 10 boards, 4 rebounds, 3 steals, 4 block shots. It was just a dynamic performance from 2 guys who, by the way, the Lakers are really going to be relying on in the postseason because the way that the Houston Rockets guarded them tonight, that's exactly how the Lakers are going to be guarded in the postseason. And now, will other teams be as disciplined for the entirety of it? Will they be as brash as the Rockets were in this one? Maybe, maybe not. Who's to say? But in those games, when teams basically decide to guard the Lakers the way that the Houston Rockets guarded the Lakers tonight, if you have guys like Dorian and Gabe step up like that, that's absolutely huge. Dalton Connect only played 4 minutes in this one. That's worth monitoring as well. I think we're kind of starting to see a little bit of slippage with his trust level with this coaching staff. That's worth monitoring. Rui Hachimura played 31 minutes in this one, went 3 of 10 from from the field, 1 of 6 from three-point range. He's going to have to play better. Like, it's nice to see that he got 10 shots up in this one as he kind of regains his footing coming off of that injury. But, thank God Dorian shot the way that he did with Rui kind of being non-existent on offense. Speaking of non-existent on offense, Jared Vanderbilt is a disaster on that side of the court. It's great that he comes in and he's very physical, on defense. He goes out and he creates opportunities by way of extra possessions, all of that stuff. But Jared Vanderbilt, like, dude, just lay the ball up. Like, what NBA player can't make a layup? It's actually crazy to watch him be so bad at some of the game's easiest shots. I would understand him kind of struggling being a corner 3-point shooter. That stuff is tough. He's not a shooter, all of that. But Vando, you're getting layups. You're getting passes under the basket. Like, how are you not more ready to go right up with it? How are you not better at sneaking the ball up onto the backboard so that if guys do block it, it's a goaltend? How are you not better at sneak dunking? Like, it's crazy how long it takes him to get off of the floor, given how athletic he is everywhere else on the court. It's actually crazy to watch this guy be that bad offensively. And it really sucks because he's so great defensively. I would love for him to be able to just be between bad and mediocre. Even that's the floor. That's the bar I'm looking for from Jared Vanderbilt. But no, he's a straight up disaster offensively right now. It makes him really difficult to play. He only played 10 minutes in this game because every time he got these open opportunities, it was a block shot for the other team going the other way. So, but anyway, all the credit in the world to Gabe Vincent, all the credit in the world to Dorian Finney-Smith in this one. Gabe only getting 24 minutes is kind of interesting. Goodwin came in. He played 12 minutes. Austin played 39 minutes. I think it's really clear, who JJ trusts. But at the end of the day, like this win that the Lakers pick up here, as I know, we talk often about how frustrating some of the Lakers' previous losses are going to be at the end of the season when you're looking at standings and you're looking at seedings and home court advantage and all that. And it's very easy for me to go back and identify, gosh, if they wouldn't have lost to the Spurs, if they wouldn't have lost to the Hornets or to the Jazz twice or to the Nets, all that stuff, how annoying those losses are. Well, this kind of effort makes up for that. And they don't get this win without Gabe Vincent and without Dorian Finney-Smith. I thought it was really, really cool to watch to watch LeBron and Luka and Austin collectively basically just stay disciplined. And I know for those guys, it's difficult. Now, I thought that the Lakers did a good job of getting out in transition, and all of those guys' best opportunities typically came in transition or semi-transition. And that's why it's so important for the Lakers to get out and run in those opportunities that they get. But I also thought in the half court, while Udoka was so focused on making sure that those guys didn't beat them, that you didn't see Luka force stuff. You didn't see LeBron force stuff. You didn't see Austin force stuff. I thought it was a phenomenal game from those guys. And yeah, it's not the 85 points combined between those guys. It's not the however many assists, although I do think they picked up a decent number of assists. It's not the, I think they had like 25 assists between the three of them against Memphis and 21 boards. That's off the top of the head. So if I have those numbers incorrect, I'm sorry. But in this one, you had LeBron. He scored 16 points. He grabbed 8 boards and he dished out 4 assists. He was a +9 in the game. You had Luka score only 20 points in this one. He dished out 9 assists, grabbed 6 boards, and was a +7 in the game. And Austin Reaves was coming off of a crazy scoring stretch for him. He scored 12 points to go with 8 boards and 3 assists. So you can see like there was a concerted effort between those 3 guys. All right, we aren't going to be able to score because of the way that we're being defended, but we're going to hit the boards. We're going to limit the possession battle, and we're going to try to win the possession battle, and we're going to limit the rebounds here. The Lakers were out rebounded. The Memphis Grizzlies are the best rebounding team in the sport, but they were only out rebounded 51-45. And very importantly here, the Lakers limited the Houston Rockets on the offensive boards. Houston only grabbed 10 offensive boards. The Lakers also grabbed 10 offensive boards, and that wound up really helping there. Also importantly here, the Lakers only turned the ball over 11 times. Again, Houston's offense is not all that impressive. They don't have the horses on that end of the court. But what they'll do is they'll just overwhelm you with possessions. And what the Lakers really found a way to do, or found a way to succeed tonight, was by winning that possession battle and thus limiting Houston and their mediocre offense to 98 points. So the rebounding here from Luka, Austin, and LeBron was really cool to see. But I think more importantly than anything, it was one of the most selfless games I've seen from a collection of 3 stars in a minute. It was really cool to watch those guys. And Luka's first thing that he said after the game was, when he was asked by the TNT reporter on the walk-off interview, that she asked him about Dorian Finney-Smith's game, and he said, "You're open." I told him, "You're passing up shots still. Keep on shooting. you're wide open. We need you to keep shooting. And that's the thing. There's a clip of, I should have had it pulled up, but there's a clip of, maybe I'll filibuster and try to find it on social media, but it is a clip of LeBron James talking about Luka, and it's on the Old Man and the Three. That's what it is. Old Man and the Three. And was it? Well, now it's the Young Man and the Three because they have rebranded. But there's a clip of LeBron basically saying that he was really looking forward to working with Luka, or how Luka really kind of picks up from the way that LeBron has wanted to teach the next generation in playing the sport. And oh no, so it is the Old Man and the Three. They now have Man and the Three. Nope. All right, I can't find it. I'm trying to filibuster. I can't find it. But essentially, LeBron was saying how the thing that he really enjoys watching with Luka is Luka gets double teamed. He just makes the right play, and he trusts his teammates to make the right play off of that pass. And tonight, you saw a lot of LeBron in the short roll. You saw a lot of swing opportunities here where Austin and LeBron or Luka were making the right plays there. And it all led to these wide open shots here against one of the better and more switchy, versatile defenses in the league. The Lakers ran kind of a clinic offensively. And yes, it doesn't look all that impressive. They only scored 104 points. But Houston plays their asses off on that side of the court defensively. And on a night where Luka shot 1 of 7 from 3-point range, Austin shot 0 of 3 from 3-point range, LeBron was 2 of 4 from 3-point range. So those guys didn't have it going, and yet the Lakers were able to get big buckets when they absolutely needed them. And they were, I think, even more importantly, they were able to get good looks whenever they needed them. And it's it's Mind the Game. Thank you, David. All right, let me see if I can find it. Mind the Game. There it is. Well done, David. Shouts to David Law here. Is this it? Here it is. All right. I'm going to find the clip. I'm going to try to download it and be the producer on the fly. There's no way this is anything but just the absolute best video and audio, right? But here is hopefully once it downloads and uploads, or uploads and downloads, whatever order you prefer. Man, it is G. So there it is. All right, once that uploads, I'll play it. But LeBron was, talking about what it's like to watch Luka play. And he and Steve Nash, I thought, had a really cool exchange about what it's like to, about Luka's approach and how much it has in common with LeBron, who, remember, when LeBron came into the league, you had all those mouth breathers whining about the fact that LeBron was making the pass at the end of the game and not forcing shots. And LeBron maintained over the course of his career, it's like, no, I'm going to make the right play. If I see now, you will see him occasionally take that step back 3-pointer, all of that stuff. But at the end of the day, LeBron is always just hardwired to make the right play. Here's him talking about Luka being wired the same way.
But I'd like to know from you, what excited you about getting to play with Luka?
Because he plays the game how I've always wanted to inspire the generation to play the game. And it's nothing predetermined. It's if you have 2 guys on you, there's a numbers game.
Right.
If you have the advantage, and if it's a guy that that can't guard you, or you're able to beat him, and then the guy traps the box, or another guy sinks, I'm able to make the passes and make the reads before they happen.
Right.
I've always loved the players that breathe so much confidence into his teammates that make them believe that they're actually better than what the fuck they really are.
Yes.
You did that. Luka has done that for 7 years. Chris Paul did that when he was down there in New Orleans and doing that for that team down there in New Orleans. I've been able to do that with a few of my teams. I mean, I don't go to the NBA Finals in 2006 with that team if I'm not able
100%.
to make them believe that they're greater than what they are.
Yeah.
You know, and just give them that confidence.
It's a great point because I think people understand you make your teammates better, but making them believe is a whole other thing because you can spray the ball around the gym and make people better.
Right.
But to give them that belief that like, no, what I do is important and valued and going to help our team win, like that's a different thing.
And it makes them, ultimately, they would do anything for you. They'll run through a wall for you, you know? Right. I mean, we saw it. Unfortunately, one of your teammates gets suspended in the postseason. Right. You know, when you get chucked to the scores table. Yeah. But that's because you've given them so much confidence and so much belief. You fucking touch Steve like I feel like you're going after me.
We built that bond.
Y'all built that.
Poor Steve. The look on his face when LeBron mentions that moment that eventually got. Was it Stoudemire? Was it? It wasn't Stoudemire, was it? Who got? It might have been Stoudemire who got suspended for a playoff game for like merely setting foot onto the court because the NBA was overreacting to the malice of the palace. But yeah, it's a great clip there, and I think I you know it's really fun to watch a collection of stars. And two of them being all-timers. Like, Luka's going to go down as one of, if not the best player of his generation. We know LeBron is the best player of his generation. If he isn't the best player of all time, Austin, not quite on that level, but still really bleeping good. But they're all wired the same way, where it's like there was a play today, final couple minutes of the game. LeBron brings the ball up the court. He passes the ball across the court over there to Austin and says, "No, go to work." And then Austin and Rui run a pick and pop. And unfortunately, Rui airballed the shot, but that was 100% the right play for Austin to make. And he found Rui wide open. It just was a bit of a bummer that Rui airballed the shot, but that was 100% the right play there. And it was the right play for LeBron to be able to get the ball to Austin. Austin makes the right play, and then the teammate misses the shot. But at the end of the day, like, I have zero doubt whatsoever down the stretches of these games that all three of those guys are going to make the right decision. And so long as JJ Redick and his coaching staff are mapping out the right kinds of plays, those right decisions that those guys are going to make are still going to involve one or two of the other guys. And that's where the Lakers are going to be so effing difficult to defend in the postseason. It's the reason that I think the Lakers are a title contender and a team, maybe the team that no team in the conference wants to play because of the collection of offensive talent and understanding that the Lakers boast. But that clip there was incredible of LeBron and Luka, playing, what it's like for those guys to play together. And I thought tonight was a perfect example of everything that LeBron talked about. Also, LeBron basically ended the game with this.
And they give him space. Şengün inside. Mismatch on Luka. Knocked away. LeBron erases the shot. LeBron blocks the shot.
Listen to the sound that the ball makes on this play. It is absolutely incredible.
And they give him space. Şengün inside. Mismatch on Luka. Knocked away. LeBron erases the shot. LeBron blocks the shot.
Earlier in the game, the first two possessions of the game for the Houston Rockets, they forced a switch and they left Austin on an island guarding Alperen Şengün, and Şengün got two easy buckets. And Şengün takes that shot with the same amount of effort as he took those first two shots earlier in the game. Only this time, it was the most important possession of the game. LeBron recognized it, rotated super early as soon as he saw that Austin was on that island there, rotated over, sprinted over, elevated, and absolutely and actually spiked the ball. Like that was a volleyball spike. I would love to go and look at that. Normally, so when you're playing volleyball and you go up to spike it, if you put backspin on your spike or if you put backspin on your serve, the ball's going to float out of the court or off the court. And what you need to be able to do is like come over to the top and then whip that wrist over and try to get that front spin, so that when the ball comes off of your hand, it just absolutely sinks and goes straight down. And it's especially important if you're hitting from like the midline there and you aren't able to go right up to the rim and actually spike it straight down, but you actually have to get the ball to the rim and then have the front spin and all that stuff. That's way too much volleyball talk. But anyway, when LeBron goes up, I would love to be able to slow that down and see if LeBron is actually able to generate front spin on that, because the sound that he makes there was like a solid like boom, and that's the kind of sound that you make when you hit a ball hard enough to be able to generate that front spin. I would love to see if LeBron, I would imagine there's probably a little bit of backspin, maybe a knuckles down into the ground, but yeah, he absolutely like just fully extends, comes over the top, and shoves Alperen Şengün into the locker that he belongs. I can't stand watching that dude play. I can't stand it. I loved it that Vanderbilt flopped against him tonight, and he looked at the referee and he was like, he flopped. And all of the other players on the court were like, huh, he flopped, huh? What that must be like. It just, I can't stand watching. He's an incredibly skilled player. He's like dollar store brand, not Kirkland brand, because I actually think Kirkland makes good stuff, but he's like dollar store brand Nikola Jokic. And I remember when everybody was trying to push that thing, I think eventually they're gonna have to trade Şengün, because he just doesn't really fit into the vibe of that team. I think Şengün gets moved this summer, but that was an incredible play there from LeBron. And again, like that's the kind of play that you can make when you have the legs that come with playing with Luka and with Austin, and when your guys are hitting jumpers the way that Dorian and Gabe were hitting jumpers tonight. That's about as explosive as I've seen LeBron on the defensive side of the ball late in a game, in a regular season game, in the last year or so, maybe the last couple of years. And if he's able to generate that amount of energy, that amount of force defensively in game number 74, they've played 46 and 29. That's 75. Yeah. So in game number 75, if he's able to get up and on the last play of the game in game number 75, make that play, that's absolutely great to see. And that's the whole point of going out and getting somebody like Luka, who can make the game so much easier on LeBron, that he can go out and be one of the best 3-and-D players in the sport. All right, let's get to some of your guys' questions and comments. Yeah, Manny, I would agree. Şengün is a lot closer to Sabonis than Jokic. 100%. All right. What did I say? Okay, sorry, David. I take away your credit. Will Greer said that it was the Mind the Game podcast. You're absolutely right, Will Greer. David, I appreciate you saying that, and I appreciate all of you guys saying that, because it was a look. The comment sections just kind of moves kind of quickly here, but anyway, we have a super comment here from Justin Tyndall, so that means I get to play this one. Justin Tyndall writes, props to Gabe. He wasn't an NBA player earlier in the season. I will say this, as somebody who was completely out on Gabe. I was outdone watching that dude get wide open jumpers and just miss wide open shot after wide open shot after wide open shot after wide open shot. All the credit in the world goes to Gabe for excuse me, for staying engaged, for staying engaged, and everything that he has done to become, what's he shooting on the season now? Because I think his numbers on the year have really picked up, even given how poorly he was shooting earlier this season. Boy, ESPN's website sucks. So on the year, yeah, he's shooting 36%, 35.7% from 3-point range. That is up from, I think he was shooting 2% at one point. No, I'm kidding. But he was shooting really poorly early in the year. And you heard LeBron talk about building belief in teammates and getting role players to believe in themselves so that Gabe can have a game like this and Dorian can have a game like this. But I also think the coaching staff deserves a ton of credit as well, where I got the sense in talking to people last year, Darvin would say, keep shooting, all the things that like coaches need to say to their shooters when guys would go through tough stretches. But and some of this might be kind of anecdotal because everything was just kind of ugly last year. But the vibe that I kind of got was when Darvin would tell people to keep shooting, it felt kind of empty because it was just, keep shooting, you'll make the next one. Keep shooting, you'll make the next one. But there was never any kind of note as to where your next one was going to come from. There was never any direction to get guys into a rhythm. It was just kind of like how you ask somebody you see in the office hallway, hey, how's it going? And if somebody goes, well, and you're like, oh, come on, man, I didn't actually care. That's essentially what it kind of felt like from what I've been able to gather with the Lakers last year was, oh, keep shooting, man, keep shooting. And there'd be kind of a note, hey, well, where am I shooting from? And it was like, I don't care, man, just shoot. And this year, just by the inherent comparison between the two head coaches, the difference is not only will JJ Redick and his staff say, no, you got to keep shooting, you got to keep shooting, you got to keep shooting, but it was also, no, here's where your shots are going to come from. Here's how you're going to be looking to gather on that shot. Here's where the ball is going to be coming from. Not just where you're going to be situated on the court, but the angle that the ball is going to be coming from, so that in practice, after practice, all of that stuff, when you're working on your shot, you know that the ball is going to be coming from over there, and this is the type of turn that you're going to need in your shoulders. Is it going to be coming inside out? Is it going to be coming from the wing? Is it going to be a swing kind of look in the corner? Like, those are the specific shots that Gabe needed to work on, that Dorian needed to work on, and that the Lakers shooters collectively needed to work on to make them better shooters than they were before. And that's honestly one of the great advantages of employing a shooter as your head coach. He understands, watch JJ Redick game to game. He is like impeccably put together. And you could tell he is just the kind of guy who his pens are lined up on his desk. He's extremely tidy, or no, I'm the kind of guy who, like, I'm not as tidy as Jen would like me to be, but there's a system and I know exactly where everything is when I put it down. I think JJ is more of the OCD. No, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here, this goes here. And he brings that to the table as a coach especially with his shooters, where it's like, no, it's not just a matter of no, man, like you're good. Keep shooting. You'll get your rhythm someday, somehow. It's no, let's work on what we need to do to get you into a rhythm as a shooter. And there is such a huge difference. That is a black and white type of thing with approach to getting guys confident in their shooting. And I'm telling you, I don't think the Lakers win this game without that approach as a former great shooter that you've seen from JJ Redick. To be absolutely clear, Gabe deserves the vast majority of the credit for knocking down the shots, for putting in the work, for getting better, for sticking with it, all that stuff. Gabe deserves the vast majority of the lion's share of that credit. I'm just saying how role players' lives are made easier by a coaching staff that understands how to make role players' lives easier. All right, let's go ahead and yeah, I think this is a good point. Alan writing that the defense was better today, but it killed our legs. Yeah, I think that's probably where the Lakers are going to be in the postseason. And that's, by the way, how postseason basketball tends to go. The defense ramps up. It makes it that much more difficult to knock down open shots. And you get these rock fights. And it just becomes a matter of which team is better situated in those kinds of situations, or which team better handles those situations. And I thought tonight the Lakers handled this game really, really well because, again, both teams treated this like a playoff game. The Lakers were going timeout for timeout with Houston down the stretch there. You had timeouts on out of bounds plays. You had offense and defensive substitutions. Jalen Green, the Rockets' leading scorer, was benched in this game for the sake of, because he wasn't shooting very well, he was benched for the sake of length and athleticism. That's something you don't normally see from a team unless it really, really, really wants to win a game. So this was a really cool one to watch. This was obviously a critical game here for the Lakers, and the outcome here is really important given the state of the chase in the Western Conference. Kind of wondering why that's weird. I'm gonna go over here and try to figure out why it's no, I'll do that after the show. Anyway, that's the problem. It's the lowdown. This has been a lounge episode, you moron. All right. That is going to do it here for this episode of, I was looking for the QR code for those of you kind of curious where my brain goes over the course of a show. But that is going to do it here for this episode of the Lakers Lounge podcast, as you guys can see right down there. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. A reminder, please hit that subscribe button. Please hit that like button. Those things really help the show grow and all of that stuff. If you guys want to join in on the fun, you just scan that QR code up there. That gets you a deposit match there on Underdog. That is a 50% deposit match up to $1,000. That's just free money that we're giving away. So check out that as well. And until the next time you guys hear from me, which will be in a little bit because I have to record the lowdown, I'm Anthony Irwin saying, have a great rest of your day. Make somebody else's, and I will talk to you in a bit. Have a good one, everybody.
Bye, everyone.